Okay, so you have your watercolor and it's dried. An easy way to test to see if it's dry is use the backside of your hand because you don't have oils or as many oils on the backside of your hand, and you can feel and see if it's wet. And this is dry because we've let it dry overnight. What we're going to be doing, we're going to be adding in some details to this. So first off, I want to show you how to lift up some of this color so you can actually have clouds. Now you can do that by just adding some white to it, white paint, acrylic paint, just painting over the watercolor, but I don't really like to do that. Instead, I'm going to take some clean, fresh water, just dip my brush into it, and I'm going to go right in here to where I want to pick up the color. I'm just going to dab it in kind of like that. And I'm just going to saturate it a bit. And as you can see, it's already starting to pick up that color. I can just go in here, dab it around like that. I'll come down here, I'll put some more in there like this. Just kind of dab it around. And the water is already starting to pick up the color. And you can just leave that set for a little bit if you want, and it'll actually draw up the color for you. Or you can actually speed up the process a little bit by taking a cloth and just dabbing it on there, or even a paper towel. And it has to be an absorbent paper towel, not the brown ones that we have at school. So in the back we do have some actual paper towels that you can use. And as you can see, we have the colors soaking up the water, or the water soaking up the colors. So that's the first step. You can actually use this method to make clouds. The next thing I want you to look at is if you want to add in some details. So this wash right here that we have is actually really good for adding in details down here at the bottom. Like for instance, a lot of the times if you have a this kind of a setup, you can actually have it be kind of like a sunset down here even. And if it's high contrast, which means it's going to be dark colors, you can actually use a little bit of black. I'm going to scrape that off over to the side here. I'm going to move this over so you can see it. So I have a smaller brush with some black right here. And you can use this and create some really neat effects down at the bottom. Like for instance, let's make this a telephone pole. So I'm going to come in right here and there we go. Set this off down here so it looks like it's moving away from us. And you know what? Let's add in some birds. Here's a bird. Here's another one. Swoop that in. And what I'm doing to add in the birds, I'm just kind of thinking about how birds kind of fly, and it's kind of like a U shape. And depending on how the wings are going, if they're bending down or if they're bending up, just kind of think about that. Okay, and what about the electrical lines going in through here? Those are actually really easy to add in. What I would suggest you do is just add them in with a pencil or even a pen if you have a pen laying around. I'm going to use a pencil for simplicity's sake. If I can get one out from here. Yep, here's one. There we go. Just make sure you line them up to the right one. Okay. And just looking at that, it looks like we probably need another one right back there. There. Now, something that I would probably add into this one would be stars in the background, and that's really easy to add in. All you need to do, take some white paint, which, again, give you access to, and you can either do that by taking a toothbrush or something and splattering it on there. I would actually take something sharp, like a sharp point of a pencil even, or the back end of your paintbrush, and just dabbing them in. So let me get some white paint. Yeah, this is going to be a quick painting. I'm not even going to edit this out, more than likely. Let's just dab some white paint right there. And like I said, you can either take a tip of your pencil, so I'm just going to roll this around in the paint like that and just kind of plop it down there. It's not really very much that's needed, just a little bit. You need to be mindful of where you put your clouds, if you have any in there. And obviously you're going to see more stars near the top where it's darker. Down below, not quite as many. Okay, and there you have it. So what I want you to try to do, I want you to come up with your own scenery just using water, white paint, and black paint in the background. Now this down here we use watercolor for. Whenever this dries, it's going to look same as that. And then just a little bit of white acrylic if you want to do stars or details or things like that. So yeah, using water, black watercolor, and some white paint, I want you to paint in the other 3 artworks that you had done yesterday and finish them off. It can be any kind of sceneries you want them to be. I want you to try to do those little fine details. And remember, this is just a simple exercise, a simple project. Once it gets dry, which probably won't be today, what you do to remove the tape, start from a corner, and I'm going to move this down so we can see it better. Start from a corner right here, and you peel it at an angle. So you want to try to make an angle to where this is pulling away from the paper at an angle. And just very lightly pull away like that. And you want to do that with all sides of your tape. So see, at an angle like that. That way, if it does make a rip, like it did right there, it's pulling away and it's not going to rip the artwork whenever it comes off the page. Right, let's move that up here. And this you want to finish or you want to remove the tape whenever you are finished with the work. And see, as I pull off right there, I've actually ripped the page a little bit, and it kind of took the artwork up as I was pulling away from it. So Yeah, you want to make sure you're pulling away from the artwork. All right, and that is your all's assignment. After you get this done, photograph it, turn it in. Let me see what you've come up with, and then it is yours to keep. Thank you all. Hope you like this lesson. And I hope that you have learned a little bit about blending colors and watching them blend together. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day.